The Dent Slayer, Matt Boyette. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey guys, this is Matt Boyette. Welcome to the Dent Slayer video training platform. Our goal is to take you from being a complete beginner with no prior PDR understanding and turn you into a successful technician who is able to take this skill, this trade, and be able to provide for your family and really enjoy the art and the skill of paintless dent removal. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of what to expect in our beginner course, as well as walk you through my journey in this industry to show you some of the possibilities and potential that you could take this skill set in your own direction. So before we get into the skill set of paintless dent removal, let me tell you about my journey. If you can rewind really far back to high school. High school, I did not have a lot of potential with where I was going to go. I was doing really bad in high school, just not paying attention and getting in with the wrong crowd. I was kind of worried about what my future held for me. So at the time, right after high school, I got a job at a body shop, washing cars. My roommate at the time worked there also as a body shop apprentice. And during the course of working at the body shop, we would see a paintless dent removal guy come in, do repair, and leave. So my roommate at the time started looking into local paintless dent removal companies and found one here in Jacksonville that was hiring. The name of the company was Automotive Dent Specialists. They hired my roommate to become an apprentice. And what that consisted of, you would apprentice during the day, you would ride around with another skilled technician, and you're his apprentice. And in the evenings, you would go home and you would practice on a sacrificial panel, something we could practice on and not worrying about messing up. So we acquired a hood and a hood stand. He started practicing in the evenings. He would go to work apprenticing, come home and practice in the evening. I would go to work, I would come back, and I would practice in the evenings and watch what he was doing. So the owner of the company would come by in the evenings and evaluate his progress. I would stand out there and watch the dialogue and ask the owner if when my roommate got done being trained, if I could get a job too. And he said, absolutely. 6 weeks of apprenticeship training went by for my roommate. Then he progressed straight to a technician, and then they put me right in that training seat. That journey consisted of a hood on a hood stand with a couple tools and a reflection board. My journey started in March of 1998. So the apprenticeship really consisted of, he would go about his day doing his repairs. I would hand him tools. He would give me pointers. He would make me chase keys. We would dialogue about what he's doing. I would say I was trained, but not the way that I'm going to provide training for you. This is a different day and time with different understanding of what we're doing. The training I'm going to provide you is going to be far superior than the training that I got, which was really just watching a guy do his job. After the apprenticeship, they brought me on as a technician, and I worked at that company for 2 years. From 98 till 2000. After 2000, Dent Wizard, which was the largest paintless dent removal company at the time, came in and bought our company. So I showed up one day, my boss said, you no longer work for this company, you work for this company. Me being fairly new in the industry, I didn't really have any other recourse other than to put on that shirt and go to work for Dent Wizard. I worked for Dent Wizard for 21 years. So I worked for Dent Wizard locally here in Jacksonville from 2000 up until 2012. They added a lot to my skill set. Again, they offer lots of advanced training. They offer other leadership type courses that you can go into. They teach you how to be self-motivated, independent. There's no one shaking you out of bed, and there's no one telling you when you can go home. That's up to you. A lot of independence that they taught me, and also self-motivation, which I've completely taken to running my own business. A lot of technicians have bad views of Dent Wizard. For me, there was a lot that they brought to the table, and they fully developed my skill set and my leadership skills and be able to interpret that into running my own business. So 2012, I kind of felt like I had outgrown my environment here, and I was looking for more of a challenge and more of an opportunity. And so I decided to transfer over to the Dent Wizard hail team. All I did was chase hail, and I would travel full time, repairing hail damage at different sites. That gave me a completely different skill set that I could hone and develop through various technicians, through various opportunities, and being put in different situations where I had to overcome them, whether or not it be traveling here locally in the States, going outside of the country into Canada and to Australia. It gave me many opportunities for me to really hone my skill set, develop into who I am today. Over the course of the 12 years here locally, I became very proficient at the type of repairs in the job description here. When you join the Hail side of things, it poses all new challenges, and I was very, very intrigued with facing those challenges head on. They're very special skill sets that are very similar, but different in the same aspect that you really have to hone and develop, which takes time. Being on the Hail team has its own set of challenges. There's very, very high repair standards. You have to be very, very efficient and proficient at the repairs. You are surrounded by very, very high level skilled technicians where you have to be able to meet or exceed what those guys are doing. You're also put in some really good situations where you're in nice, clean body shops to less than ideal situations where you might be in a tent in a parking lot with 20 or 30 mile an hour winds coming through, pushing your light all around. And so you're left to have to learn how to adapt in those environments, but also put out a superior product. One story that stands out that I'd like to share with you goes back to my time in Australia. So this is my first year in Australia. They have very, very high standards for repair. If you weren't the guy who could repair to those standards, then they would very easily and quickly replace you with another guy who would meet those standards. So it's basically sink or swim. I had a car roll into my bay that had a very, very deep dent on the hood. And I believed at the time that it was outside of my skill set to repair. I go grab the manager, bring him over to the car, and I show him the dent, and I say, "Sir, I believe this dent is not able to be repaired with PDR. I can fix the rest of the car, but the hood needs to be replaced." He kind of pauses for a few seconds and then proceeds to tell me this little speech. "Matt, I've been doing this a really, really long time. I've seen lots of technicians come through these doors. I've determined over my years of experience that only about 20% of the technicians who come through these doors are actually good at what they do. The other 80% are just here as a money grab. They don't care about the craft of PDR. They're just trying to get the money fast. They don't care about expanding their skill set or putting out a superior product. And if it's easy, they want to do it. And if it's hard, they want to pawn it off and get it out the door so they can get on to easier stuff." I'm asking you, are you part of the 80% who's the opportunist who just wants that quick cash? Or are you the extra 20% who is vested in your skill set, who wants to be good at what they do, who can fix that dent? I know that dent can be fixed. What percentage are you? And I paused for a second. I had to really take in what he said and do some self-evaluation. I said, "All right, I'll fix the dent." He walked away, and guess what? I fixed the dent. I had to figure it out. I had to overcome that challenge. I had to rise above to the challenge that was presented to me. And at that point, I really saw myself as, no, I'm an upper percentage of technicians, not because I was good at what I do per se, but because I cared about being good at what I do, the pursuit of being good at what I did. That is what I carry to my business now. That is what I carry to my tool line now. That is what I carry to my training now, is what percentage are you? Are you the 80%, or are you that little 20% who really wants to take this craft and be able to be good at what you do? If you stick with me through the journey, I can help you get there. From 2013 till the end of 2019, I chased Hail for Dent Wizard full time. I took my 4 kids and my wife with me on the road. We homeschooled them. I took them everywhere that I went, whether or not it be here locally in the US or across the borders of Canada or into Australia. I brought them with me everywhere I went. I wasn't willing to compromise my family situation in order to make some money. And so we decided that as a family. As you can imagine, they were getting older, they were getting bigger. We felt some of the strains of being on the road full time for that long. I could feel the pull for them to be at home, engaged here more locally. After a lot of decision making, me and my wife decided to quit traveling full time, to step away from Dent Wizard in that role, and to open up our own business here locally, which is where All Out Paintless Dent Removal was born. So January 1st of 2020, I opened my business here locally in Jacksonville with the idea of growing it into the top paintless dent removal company here in Northeast Florida. Behind the scenes, we all know what was happening, going on in the beginning of 2020 with COVID and the devastating effects that would have on our economy, with the lockdowns, with all the things that that did to businesses. That was a pretty scary time for opening a business in 2020. Our business was able to thrive despite those circumstances. Thankfully, I was here in Florida where we did not have the government boot pushing down on our neck, stifling our businesses, stifling our economy. Right after opening my own business here in Jacksonville, I had always had this itch in the back to become a tool builder. So if you know me, you know that I'm a tinkerer. I'm always building things and tinkering and modifying things and changing things. And that was really the beginning of where Dent Slayer started. So Dent Slayer started out of the love for trying to design a better tool. And so I reached out to A1, and so began our partnership in the pursuit of trying to build better tools. So I have all out here. We're doing really good, high quality retail repairs. I'm also started the Dent Slayer brand, and we're also, at the time, we're making Dent Slayer tools. We grew the local business from me working out of my driveway to, at the height of it, was about 5 technicians. And we went from my driveway to having 2 retail shops between Jacksonville and St. Augustine. Once I decided I was going to open a retail shop, I realized I really wanted to be able to put out the highest quality, cleanest repairs that I possibly could. And so I reached out to the best trainer that I know, who is Bryce Kelly. I went and trained with Bryce Kelly for 1 week at his shop down in Orlando in order to be able to expand my skill set and be able to, again, produce the highest, cleanest repairs I possibly can in my area. So if you're thinking about spending money to get training, understand that me, at the time, 22 years as a technician, decided I was going to get extra training with Bryce Kelly, which was, full disclosure, over $10,000 investment for me. Now, as a technician myself, I do understand that it can be a large investment to pursue training. I'm not asking you to do anything that I haven't done myself, but probably on a much greater scale of investment. Tens and thousands of dollars have gone into my training. You need to understand that that investment has unlocked hundreds of thousands of dollars of income for me. Please don't be scared of that initial investment. As soon as you embark on this journey, it can unlock a whole new income stream for you, a whole new lifestyle, a whole new skill set and career path than what's possible for you at the moment. After training with Bryce for that week and understanding the impact that in-person training can have on a person and their skill set, I decided to offer my services and my training to the PDR community also, and open it up to beginner and advanced training here locally at my shop in Jacksonville, Florida, which has led us to where we are now, which was cataloging all this information into a video series that you're able to access from home. So we've had really good success when that training, the beginner training, with taking technicians from zero knowledge of PDR up to very successful, very proficient technicians out in the field. That comes at a large cost of time in order to do that, resources to be able to come down here and train with me, and also financial. That's a $6,000 chunk to come down here and train with me in my shop for a week for the one-on training. I know that's not ideal for everyone in everyone's situation. Yours might not be where you have that financial freedom to do it, or you don't have that much free time to come train with me for a week. Maybe you want to learn on the weekends or in the evenings like I did. And so that has led us to be able to offer this video series. All we've done is taking the same practices and principles and training methods that I implement here in my one-on-one training, try to catalog that down into a video series that you can easily digest at your own pace with minimal investment from the comfort of your own home or garage or basement or wherever that is. Our goal is to get as close as we can in duplicating the one-on-one experience here with me. Now, there's nothing that's going to replace one-on-one in-person training. I believe that is the most ideal and efficient way to learn paintless dent removal. But that's not always ideal for everyone's situation. And so we're offering this to you now as a video series for you to do at your own pace from the comfort of your own home. So what does all that mean for you? So hopefully all that story and my resume helped for you to understand that I have a very, very diverse skill set. Whether or not it is very proficient doing hail in some of the most challenging settings, doing really high level retail, trained by Bryce Kelly, who is arguably one of the best PDR technicians on the planet and some of the cleanest PDR work you'll ever see done. Being very proficient at running wholesale, whether or not it's rental or car dealerships, and be able to get through large amounts of inventory really fast and very clean. As well as, I'm a tool builder, guys. I understand the challenges that you guys face with the tools that are out there, and I'm trying to stay on the cutting edge of tool development and understand what you guys need to do your job. So I offer a very diverse skill set or resume that all feeds in to what you're going to learn here. So I also believe that I have a very unique approach to understanding and communicating how to repair dents. So I'm going to take you through a step-by-step process. It's a guide map to help you understand and interpret any type of dent removal you're going to face. The art of performing paintless dent repair can get very messy at times, and it can be very frustrating, leaving many technicians scratching their heads saying, what do I do next? What tool do I grab next? Where do I go next? I believe I've developed a roadmap that can help guide you and give you understanding anywhere you're at along that journey on what is the next step. What do I do next? Without me being over your shoulder to tell you, my goal is to give you a map that you can look at any moment and understand where you're at in that repair process. I believe that is unique to dent slayer training, and you're only gonna find that here. Now that you've heard my story, let me share with you some of the content of what you can expect in the PDR Beginners course. So my goal is to take you from someone who has no knowledge of paintless dent removal, whether or not it be the tools or the techniques that are involved, or even some of the lingo. And I'm gonna introduce you to a lot of the tools that are involved, a lot of the techniques that are involved, whether or not it's repairing the dent from the bottom of the panel with a tool such as this, or repairing a dent from the top of the panel with glue pulling or cold gluing or knocking down the dent. So I'm gonna introduce you to all that stuff. By the end of this course, you're gonna have the knowledge, if you invest the time, you're gonna have the knowledge to be able to repair small dents as well as creases by pushing from the bottom, by gluing from the top on horizontal top panels as well as vertical side panels. With the right amount of practice, in a year from now, you can turn that skill set into dollars. You're not gonna be as good as the guy down the road who's put in 15 or 20 years investment into the industry. Obviously, I hope you understand that. This is the start of your journey, and it will be a long journey, but I hope to give you a head start. I've already done the work. I've got 27 years invested in this industry. I want to condense it down into what I know, what I've already experienced, whether or not it be wins or losses, and condense it for you, communicate it in a way that you can take all those experiences and be very successful with a little bit of headache. I've already got all the headache figured out, a little bit of headache and a good amount of investment in time, and you can be successful in the start of your paintless dent removal journey. I'm going to equip you with all the knowledge and understanding necessary, but it's going to be up to you to put in the reps, to put in the work, to put in the time, which will equal a great opportunity, great ability for you to take that and turn that into a successful career that can turn into financial independence for you and your family if you put in the work.
The Dent Slayer, Matt Boya. Thank you so much for being here.